MLP Series Review, Season 2, Episode 25, A Canterlot Wedding, Part 1. So, once again, this is a climax episode, so I will be reviewing it on the way as we go. So, first scene, we get a pretty good Spike gag because he was running, he can't breathe, and he burps the letter. That's a funny gag. We get Celestia being very demanding. She's literally not even like, she's not even like, can you guys do this? She's like, you guys are doing this because I'm the princess and I said so, which makes sense. It's good that she knows all of them already by the end of season 2. Like, she knows what they're good at and what they can and can't do. So after this, we get Twilight angry because Shining Armor didn't tell her that he was getting married, which is understandable. I completely understand if your sister or brother is getting married that you'd want to hear it directly and not through an invitation. We do get Big Brother Best Friend Forever, the song, which is a really good song. No complaints about it. It's very solid with some flashback of Twilight when she was younger and some of her experiences, which is nice. It's always nice to build up character by seeing experiences from the past. I do think it's really funny that Twilight doesn't know Cadence's full name. It's like she was your full sitter and you never were like, hey, what's your full name? I'm just going to call you Cadence all the time. I guess it makes sense because Twilight was a child. But moving on. Another thing that I find funny, which is just a fault of introducing new characters that are closely related to the characters that are important in the show, is the fact that we've gone through 50 episodes and we've never got a mention of Twilight having a brother. We've seen her parents, but it's always funny when they do stuff like that. Like, oh, she has a brother. Oh, she's mad at her brother because he didn't mention her. Oh, like she didn't mention him in 52 episodes, or 50 episodes, which is equivalent to almost 2 years. She has never mentioned she has a brother. Wait. Okay, so Twilight meets up with Shining, and he says, a threat has been made against Canterlot. We don't know who made it, but we've increased security because Celestia said to increase security. That's really weird. Like, I'm sure that Canterlot would get threats a lot. That's just a really weird. Like, what? Do they go somewhere with this? I don't even remember, but I'll keep watching. Shining said the burden of keeping Canterlot safe rests squarely on his shoulders. Celestia, Luna, you guys are just chilling. Every time something happens in this canon of a show, all I sit here and think is Celestia is like, yeah, I don't really care. I'm not doing that. And Luna's like, I agree. We are not doing that. And Celestia's like, no, I said I'm not. And I said, yeah, we. She's like, no, I. And she's like, I is we. That's all I can picture them doing. And just Luna playing her video games and Celestia probably eating a cake. Then we get the reveal that Shining is marrying Cadence because Twilight is a dork and she doesn't know her full name. And we get a flashback scene of when they were younger. We get Sunshine, Sunshine, which is fantastic. I bought a shirt of that. Cadence is nice. I like her a lot. I think she's a cool character. Her power's kind of weird. She just forces ponies to love each other. I don't know. I don't know if that's like okay. It seems weird. We get adult Cadence, who's Chrysalis. You'd think Chrysalis would be smarter about being someone else. She's acting questionable already, and you'd think a changeling would not do that. Okay, so the next scene is better. Cadence and Applejack have interactions, and Chrysalis Cadence, is trying to act like she's Cadence, so that makes more sense than their initial scene together with Twilight. We get a dress scene where Chrysalis is still being... she should just be blending, but she's not blending. She's being really annoying. It's also funny, though, because Twilight gets mad at her for being demanding about changing Rarity's dress, and it's like, Twilight, you guys did the exact same thing to Rarity. Pot kettle, come on now, calm down. And it's just awkward to see that. Okay, so we get Pinky and Cadence, Chrysalis interacting, and I remember listening to an ASMR, and it had this exact thing with Pinky playing like board games and stuff, and the dances being for children, and I thought, why would Cadence be okay with such childish things? And in this episode, in this part, Cadence is like, oh yeah. Well, Chrysalis is like, oh yeah, this is amazing if we're planning for a 6-year-old's birthday party. And he's like, thank you. It's just a really funny joke because I'm sure everyone was thinking that at that point, and they're trying to make Cadence look bad, well, Chrysalis look bad, but it's true. Like, what are these, Pinky? This is not for adults. I I don't remember this part at all, but Luna gets a line. She tells Celestia to rest and that she will guard the night. That's strange because all they're doing is looking through a telescope. And what are they doing? If Shining Armor has the barrier up, what is Luna doing? Where did she come from? That's such a weird moment. We also get no interaction from them. It's just a really weird part because Luna comes from outside of the barrier. She's in Canterlot. What even is this part? I don't understand at all, like, why they would put that in to show anything. She would come out of the castle. She wouldn't come out of outside of the barrier. We get another really weird scene here with Twilight trying to convince everyone that Cadence is terrible. It's really strange because it feels like rehashing old things, old lessons again. Like, why would you not believe Twilight? Especially when you consider the fact that she was insanely excited for Cadence to marry Shining Armor. So it's obviously not possessiveness of her brother. She was happy, and clearly something is gone astray now. We get a scene between Shining and Chrysalis where she's using her magic to influence him, and Twilight sees it, and that's good, that's fine. But then we get another weird Luna line. She's still just far in the distance on that scope, that telescope, and she says, "Who goes there?" and then says, "Stay indoors, Twilight Sparkle." I think I remember this part bothering me too. I was like, what is Luna doing? She's just standing there telling people to be inside? Like, she's just standing there making sure that nobody's outside? There's a barrier, Luna. It's just so nonsensical. And then right after Luna tells Twilight to stay indoors, she goes inside, and then she goes right back outside. I don't... Because the girls are... The Cadence is... Chrysalis is just tricking them. If I remember correctly, I'm kind of doing a predictive moment here with this. Twilight's come in while they're practicing for the marriage ceremony. Celestia is there. Everyone is there. If I remember correctly, I think Celestia says something that gets me really mad here. I think I remember her making me really mad before on this part. Yep, I remember this part, finally. That is why I wasn't mad that Celestia got beaten by Chrysalis. This part. Twilight is not wrong, and everyone turns on her. Even Celestia on this part. She tells her, "You have a lot to think about," and slams the door on her, and that is just... not Celestia. It's not Celestia. It's not her. She's Twilight is her faithful student. She's the most clever pony that she knows. She thinks so well that Celestia is raising her to be the new ruler. Oh man. Yeah, that's a really, really bad moment. That whenever characters step out of line of who they are, it makes me already not want to... It makes me lower scores. But when Celestia and or Luna step out of line, when their character is not at all who they are... Celestia doesn't even look at her. She just walks out and doesn't even. I'm. I'm on my mind. Oh, then we get Twilight being sad and Cadence finally being revealed as Chrysalis, or at least as evil. She's not revealed as Chrysalis, but she does reveal that she's evil. And with that Celestia part and the Luna parts, the episode just shoots down. I don't, I don't, I didn't remember that part until that part where Twilight comes in, and now I remember quite vividly why I didn't care that Celestia lost. But I will say it's because I was still convinced that the characters that they were giving me were the characters that the characters were supposed to be, and I'm not convinced that the characters we're being given here are who they're supposed to be. I'm not. Celestia would not do that to Twilight. She would be like, "What is going on?" They haven't even spoken since Twilight got there. It's just not. It's not. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. So regardless, this episode by itself, whereas the Discord episode, I wanted to see where it was going, and it was like that's a good route. This is it's like what's happening, but you've turned all the characters that I am supposed to like against the main character for some reason, and I'm sure we're gonna get a lesson about believing someone when they say things or whatever. We should definitely get apologies from everyone to Twilight because she's not wrong. But that doesn't sit well with me. This episode makes me very unhappy. Without the resolution in the second episode, this episode would be like a well, not would be. I'm giving this episode like a 2 out of 5. It's meh. It's just they are shattering character motivations and reasons for them doing what they're doing.